up, everybody? Welcome to Door Bumper Clear. I am Freddie Crafts. I forgot my name for a second. Freddie Crafts, spotter for Bubba Wallace. And that's it this weekend. Xfinity was off for me, so just one pretty good race for me. Thomas, how's your day today?
My day's okay today.
Today so far?
Yeah, it's early. But, yeah, still competition director, Rick Ware Racing.
Still?
Yeah.
I mean.
That's good.
They haven't done it. When's your mid-season evaluation? When is that kind of becoming
Tomorrow.
Is it actually?
No.
Oh,
Carson, how are you today?
I'm great.
When's your mid-season
Tired if you
evaluation?
ask, or quiet if you ask you guys, but
Well, you are quiet. It's a little concerning. I feel like you're laying in the weeds, getting ready to pounce on us or something. Here.
I guess we'll see over the next hour and a half.
Anyway,
Wait, this is an hour and a half?
something like that.
That's what we shoot
Did
for.
we-
It
Did
goes
I-
quick.
did I not
It
tell you
goes
that?
quick.
I'm just kidding.
It goes quick.
So our former guest, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Welcome to DBC, Ricky. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, my time's up. No, I'm good. Yeah, Michigan. 20th place finisher at Michigan.
Yeah. How was your race? I mean, it was kind of an up and down day for a lot of people, I feel like.
Yeah, I felt like Michigan, practice-wise, I felt like, man, we got our best car I've ever had at Michigan. A lot of throttle through the corner, and it showed that during the race I felt slow down the straightaway. So, but yeah, we're kind of scratching our head at why we were slow down the straightaway. But yeah, just a battle. We got track position at points, lost track position at points, and had a tire changer, a gun blow apart. Like the head blew off of it. So when we did have track position, we went the other way.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And listen, we've been singing the praises of we've now named him Magic Mike or Magnificent Mike, whatever you want to call him, because you guys have found a way to pretty much anytime you've even had troubles, you've salvaged a good day. And like you said yesterday, another top 20 finish for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, when you have days that you're running 28th for a lot of it, and then you finish 20th or 17th, 18th. Those are the days that for us kind of make or break our season. Those extra 8 points every weekend will get you further up in points than where you're running on speed. So we still got work to do, but we're taking advantage of the races when we do have good cars to get a good finish. So we're doing everything that we need to do. Just one little hiccup, but you'll have that.
And listen, we've called it overachieving, for the year. I don't know if you would even agree with. I mean, did you know this team was capable of this? I know it's a small team. I talked to Mike before. I think he said something like 25 employees in the shop. It's definitely one of the smallest teams in the garage. Did you know these guys are capable of putting this kind of season together so far?
Yeah. I mean, based off of last year, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had the same guys for a while now, and we got a team name change, but our guys working and touching the car aren't different. And 23 season, obviously we kicked it off with winning the 500, but I think our average finish in the regular season was 14th, and so we know that there's that capability in there. So no, we've just last year we didn't execute well. And we didn't have fast race cars, and so it was just kind of a disaster. And, so we really focused this year on, me not making mistakes, pit crew doing their job, good race strategy calls, and not doing anything crazy on those race strategy calls we were just talking about before we jumped on. And, there's different points where you could take a pretty aggressive approach to race calling and then, kind of take yourself out of the race if it doesn't work out. And I feel like we've kind of stayed in our boundaries. And like I said, take care of the races that you're not that fast, trying to figure out how to claw and get those extra spots at the end. And, I'm always ready for a good green, white, checkered. That tends to really help the finishing position,
Yeah.
Especially if you pick the bottom.
Yeah, they all go a certain way. Usually.
Yes.
And listen, you've talked about maximizing your finishes, and up until Nashville, I mean, you guys found yourself plus 13, I think it was, to the good. Is that what I mean, obviously there's been a lot of talk about you and Hocevar last week, and it was, he got in the back of you, wrecked you, but maybe it wasn't the most egregious thing in the world, and you saw, you talked about this week how you could see his point of view as well. But is that what makes it sting that much more, where you've done such a good job up until that point of controlling your own destiny, and now somebody makes one mistake behind you and knocks you out of the playoffs?
Yeah, there's a few things that were frustrating about that. Is we were a 32nd place car there last year, and then we qualified 13th. We're running in the top 20, and was happy with our car for the most part, and kind of looking forward to seeing where it went. And you don't get those points back, which is kind of tough for us because, like, just going to get extra stage points is a little bit difficult when you're averaging a 15th, 20th place car. Going to get stage points is just very difficult. And so if you could take stage points out of it, I think we're still pretty close, with our finishing position. But yeah, that definitely makes it sting worse. And like I told him, I'm like, dude, you're so fast right now. Just drive around me.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to make small percentage moves just because, they're obviously showed it yesterday, like how fast they are right now, the last month and a half. So, but we're past that. We got back on the horse this weekend, and
in typical NASCAR fashion, I seen you guys got to share a garage stall this week. It's like,
but like that's not near as cool as it used to be. Back in the day when you had to go to your garage stall, and especially those when you're backing in and out of them.
Did you guys? I know you guys said you had a conversation last week. Did you guys talk at all this weekend, or just?
Yeah,
I saw you guys chopping it up at intros.
He came and found me on driver intro stage. I wasn't gonna go find him, but he did. It's he definitely feels bad about it. I hope he, at least when he's around me, thinks about that. So, around anybody else, I guess I don't really care. So
I know you mentioned all those things that you guys are doing this year, but it's a big change, especially from us watching up top what you're doing. Because let's be honest, over the years, you've been in that situation that Hocevar has been in, right? You've gotten a lot of wrecks, right? But they're not, this year, they're not happening. Why? What is your focus? What's the change of how you're going about it compared to the past? Because it always seemed like 2 or 3, 4 or 5 races, maybe you got yourself in trouble and doing different situations. What's the change?
I had a son. No, I don't know.
No, that's so fair, though.
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, off track, I think everything's, where I need it to be. With my wife, Stetson, just everything's going good. I'm comfortable at where I'm at. I'm comfortable with the people around me and the vision of our team. They're not harping on me, expecting me to, go out and win races. We know where our capabilities are, and we're just trying to get to there. And it's tough for me, my whole career. It's tough to go from, winning races and championships against Cup guys, when they'd come down to the Xfinity Series back in the day. And then you go to Cup, and, when I was at Roush, it just like, that first year, like, we were still pretty competitive, but then, like, 2014 was really kind of I felt like you just kind of fell off a cliff as far as speed goes, and then just struggled to figure out, balance and speed there. But, like, the expectations were to still win, and, that was difficult. You had Matt leave, Carl leave, and then it was me, Biffle, and Trevor, and, even Biffle wasn't getting it done either, and so that was just difficult, and I think the mindset was tough. And so, I wouldn't put myself fully in where Carson is. I would crash myself more than I crashed other people. So,
well, Tommy's upset because you crashed him at Martinsville or something. He's still not over this.
No, I'm over it, but it's just.
I think Regan blocked me forever.
No. You need let's not start. But anyway. The thing
we'll come
is,
back to that.
Yeah. But the thing
I think
is,
we should start.
No, we'll come back to that.
Yeah. The thing is, but I've watched. We've all watched. At one point in the race, you're 35th, 34th, right? And there's a lot of situations in the past that you would have got yourself in trouble getting back up there, and you're not doing that anymore. I can see it. That you're not Hocevar in it, and that's what I'm going to call it right now, because he's the only one really. There's a couple others, but you're not doing that anymore, and you're putting yourself so you can get to the end of the race, so Magic Mike can make the decisions what needs to be made.
I like
right?
that, Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
Yeah, no, for sure, and to finally just cut your losses throughout the race. The only thing that matters, if you're not going to get stage points, the only thing that matters is when the checkered flag falls, and it hurts your feelings if you're running 30th at one point, but pushing it to be 25th when I'm not capable, or we're not capable of doing that at that point. Or, like you said, trying to get a ton on restarts when, I probably shouldn't. So, yeah, there was points yesterday. I was like, man, I need to start on the outside and get this thing 4 wide and, gain some spots. But I felt like for me, the bottom is just safer. Like, eventually, I was waiting for a crash off of 2.
Yeah.
On the restarts, I don't know how it didn't happen, 4 or 5 times yesterday. But, just taking those lower risk moves and, just getting older and wiser finally.
It's just really.
I told my wife I'm never gonna get old, but like maybe this is like that kind of turning point where I'm like figuring it out.
Trust me. I don't know about you, but you're gonna feel old eventually. I've hit that point, I think, in my life. I did see one thing when I talked about Magic Mike the other day. I was giving him because I saw he made like 3 trips to the plane he was carrying a bunch of. Turns out it was all your golf clubs. I think he's like, this ain't even my stuff. It's Ricky. So I mean, this guy's a jack of all trades.
I was doing an interview, and Mike likes to leave on time. Doors close at 8:45. I had an interview at 8:30. I'm like, Mike, if you want the door shut on the back of the plane, you might want to take these clubs. So, obviously, Mike and I go way back, and man, he's done. That's not. That's a small thing he's done for me. So, it's awesome to get to race with him still, and all the things we've accomplished together. So he's a great team leader, and he's been in the sport, Tommy knows for forever, and well respected. And I think he can go to a lot of crew chiefs, and I think that helps us as well. He can talk to a lot of crew chiefs, and they'll help us out. They'll give us a little bit of direction, and as a competition director, you know how that goes a long way. When you have, crew chiefs that will, just straight help you out, tell you what's going on, is nice.
So you have zero alliance, right? You guys.
We have an alliance with Hendrick.
Okay.
I would call it very small. I don't know what levels there are. That's well above me. But we do have an alliance with Hendrick, and but we're not like in their competition meetings. We get some setup info and things like that. But it's very small.
Switching gears quick before we go to Michigan,
we're done
with Michigan.
But I'm saying before we go to talk about the race, you still get to go racing with your dad a lot. How much fun is that for you getting on the sprint car? You guys just show up randomly somewhere, it seems like, and go racing.
If it was up to my dad, we'd race, as much as Larson does. But like at the same time, I told him because I went a long time without racing, especially 410 sprint cars, and I feel like I don't know. I haven't gotten super comfortable back in the 410 yet. Like we go run the 360, I feel really good. When we go run the 410, there's points in the night where I feel good, but then, I don't know. We're just not as fast as I want to be. So, I have a hard time like sending him to, Nebraska on Tuesday night, for a one night show. But it's still really fun, getting to run our Nelson Energy Drink sprint car. And, I think he wants to race more. We're going to continue to race a little bit more. Every year it seems like we add a little bit, to it. So, he loves it. And that's how I grew up racing, is going to the racetrack, racing go-karts with him.
Cherish those times, man.
Cherish them. We have a lot of fun. And he'll be moving here to North Carolina pretty soon.
Oh,
so
good. You go, like I've been to some of the races.
We've kind of held my mom hostage, so it's kind of like making him.
He's got to come here. Yeah.
Does he want to?
Do what?
Does he want to move?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Dad's from Huntersville, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's he kind of was here, grew up here till about 9, and then got over there where we are. But he's looking forward to getting.
Yeah,
over
it's just
here.
cool to see him when he's there, because he's busting his ass. He's so into it.
Yeah.
Like he's ate up with it. So
But the problem is, it's normally like me
and him,
and then my buddy Jay Bird from back home. High limit race at Texas. We missed our qualifying spot. We're trying to change gears. I'm like, dude, y'all got to slow down. It's a 3-man band with the driver over here, and we are struggling to get from hot laps to qualifying. So, it's he, like I said, he loves it. He's he wants to go sprint car racing, and he wants to cut grass at the ranch.
That's it.
So
Perfect.
That's all he wants.
That's all
to
he
do.
needs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Michigan, you had a good day, Fred.
Yeah, we did have a good day. We had probably the worst restart day of our lives. We might have been minus 50 on restarts. I don't know. We picked the bottom a lot, got held. Feel like every time we went in the corner, like we picked the bottom once. Ross kind of missed the bottom, got loose in front of us, stacked us all up. We picked the top. The 38 was at least the leader. He got a bad start, kind of stacked. Like just whatever lane we picked, it just didn't go. But we were really, really good on a long run, so we could drive back up in there. We'd fall to like 14th, drive back to 8th. The last restart, we fell to 17th, drove up to 4th at the finish. So, I mean, we had a really good car. I thought the race was really good. I thought you could, if you had a car capable of making moves, you could make them. You weren't kind of like boxed in. I mean, it was still not the easiest place to pass, but if you had a car capable of passing, I felt like you could make moves.
I definitely felt like you were less stuck
this
weekend for whatever reason.
Yeah, and then and it just I thought overall the race, it's just up front, mid pack. So many different strategies we'll talk about later, but Tommy, you can break down your race a little bit. You guys are on a different plan, obviously, but it's just I thought it was just racing all the way through the field, really.
I mean, at one point, 25th to 36th, they was swapping flies, man. I mean, it was a gaggle of cars, 2, 3 wide, 4 wide, and I was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
But you were in the middle of it a couple of times.
Oh yeah, Magic Mike likes to say it's. That's his.
Now Ricky's calling him that.
Yeah. It's like fist fighting octopus back there. I mean, like it is. It's coming from every direction.
Yeah,
every direction.
And it's crazy because you could take anybody and put them back there, and it's still the same. You know what I mean? Like even if
the 9 got back there with us,
the 6,
and he
the
stayed
60.
back
Yeah,
there.
if you lose track position, and we'll talk about it. Tommy, I can ask you this. The 19 car has been on the pole the last 3 weeks, and they have like an average of like a 14th place finish to show for it. Like. What do they need to change their approach to the weekend? Because obviously they got speed, but if they ever lose track position in the race, you rarely see them again.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key is planning strategically that track position way before the race starts. I mean, a lot of these guys, obviously there's different situations that happen during the race that change your thought process. But, I mean, look at the 20 car. I felt yesterday – them pitting, I think they pitted 12 laps before the end of the stage 2 caution, and they were the only ones that going to be able to do it at the time. It was a 24 was leading, right?
Yeah.
It was a 24 and a 20. They were the only 2 guys that were capable at that time of pitting and not being down
buried,
a lap when the caution comes out and having to do the drive around. So the 20 car, they took a gamble, they pitted, and they came back out right behind the 24, and they were going to pass them, get their lap back, and then not have to pit or come in and do a splash and go and get the lead. So, I mean, that was like a quick change that, they were in the position. They were far enough out. But, man, it's when you're up front and you have to think about all these things, it's happening in the war room. It's happening on the pit box. There's all kinds of conversations that are going on with these bigger teams that are making these decisions. I mean, it's wild because to see it from up top and see it how it unfolds, and you go, all right, here we go. Here's what they did. So you put it in your memory bank. You try to put yourself in that position at one time or another in your career and try to benefit from what they're doing. But yeah, man, it all boils down to that. And you can see it once every car loses 1, 2, 3 positions, they get worse.
Yeah.
They get worse, and you got to put yourself in clean air. You got to.
And Ricky, talk about the process of it, because we talk about it's a little bit easier to pass than maybe Nashville was, but you still have to be really calculated with where you make those decisions, where you start those passes, because if you don't complete a pass, I mean, you might be watching 3 or 4 guys drive by you down the front straightaway.
Yeah, man, that was what Mike was preaching to me the whole week and before the race. Like, make calculated decisions when you're going to pass somebody. And you're going to get hung in the bottom at some point when you think you're going to make, a pass. But, mainly you get stuck in the bottom when, you clear the guy you're passing, but then there's another guy and you can't slide up, right? Yeah. So you end up getting too far ahead. And so there were points in the race where, you would drive in the corner, and as soon as you're clear, then you slide up, because if you keep going, you're going to put a car on the outside of you. So, yeah, it was just, I grinned when, two guys side by side. You know, I mean, it's just like
it's like a push to pass button.
Yeah, it's get a run, pull out, drive in the corner, and you're good. So very strategic on how to get by guys and when to try and make your passes. But finally, I felt like it took forever, but the kind of higher groove came in finally. Kind of into second stage, throughout the third stage. So I think that kind of helped open the racetrack a little bit, and it seemed like guys could get just a little bit bigger run, opening their corners up a little bit. But it was very tough to pass still. I think our pre-race stuff said you kind of had to be like 2.5 tenths faster than the guy in front of you to really just go past them.
Yeah.
Clearly, y'all had a top 5 car, it looked like, and if you fell back, like you said, to 17th, you were able to drive up through there because your car was that much faster.
Yeah, and then like to your point, early in the race, we were decent. We started 9th. We were kind of running around 9th and 10th, and then like the bottom was the place to be. Like if you can get your stuff to rip around the bottom, that's where like Hocevar was making passes down there, Blaney was making passes down there, and we weren't.
The 4 made a lot. He started behind right beside me, 29th, and I looked up and he was like 17th or something, whenever the first caution came out into the stage.
It was them, right?
Into the stage.
He was in one of those.
He might have been the
early
caution.
No, he wasn't.
Him and Nemechek.
No, I don't think it was that one.
Yeah, it wasn't that one. But like I looked up, I was like, dang, the 4's up to like 17th. But, I think he was ripping the bottom.
Yeah, and
really
it's case by case because Reddick obviously started last and ripped the top up to I think he was in the top 20 like in lap 4 or something like that from last. So it's just what your car's capable of. But yeah, if you could, I felt like it was easier to try to build a run off of 2, and then you could kind of drive into 3 and get clear, or you kind of like we did it to Kyle, we did it to Ross. Like you said, as soon as you're clear, just go take their air away, and then they kind of get tight, and then they kind of stack the guys behind you, so you don't like a lot of times if you try to do that like at a mile and a half, you'd get crossed over. Like you just move up and they'd cross you over, and then they'd beat you in the next corner. Here, if you just took their air away, you'd get them pretty tight, and then they'd kind of stack everybody behind you, and you could kind of get away the next corner.
We were scared to cross over because then you bring the people behind you. Because, the front straightaway is so long, and if you get side by side, you'll have 2 or 3 on your back bumper. So, you had to wait at least till after the start-finish line really to kind of pull out and start trying to side draft a little bit. And
it was like the biggest thing is just you just can't be side by side. Like you talked about, it's like a push to pass. It's you just have to either get clear or accept that you're gonna get passed by somebody else.
Saw more people this weekend, than normal. Obviously, everybody's learning strategy. It's changing every week, and guys are making notes. And on the driving side, it changes all the time as well. But you saw more people this week. I feel like. Get a run, and if they knew they were going to be side by side, they would get as far away and then just go down the straightaway because it helped both of you out, right?
Yeah.
Like, you might not be slowing the guy down on the outside of you, but you're not slowing both of you down.
Yeah. When you guys were far enough ahead of the next car, that's when you guys were
you could take some chances.
Filling each other's wheel wells up. But I did see that yesterday. You guys would separate when those other cars around for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's tracking. It's over 90% on Gluck's poll for a great race. I don't disagree with that. I thought it was really racy. Looked good up on TV. I watched back most of it last night, and it looked. I mean, there's a lot of racing for the lead. There's a lot of racing mid pack. They were showing battles for 20th. You know, it's just a lot of racing throughout the racetrack.
Yeah, there was at one point. It was I think when the 19 was kind of holding a bunch of us up, like the 99. 9:43. I'm like, man, if this race was for the lead, the people would be pumped. Like there was a lot of pockets of racing for sure.
And speaking of people, great crowd. I mean, there was a lot of people there yesterday. There was a lot of people there on Saturday for the truck race. I felt like that was a above average crowd for what we've been seeing on Saturday. So I mean, they did a good job of packing that place out this weekend.
Finally
again.
Got some good weather.
Yeah, good weather. Thank God, this first time.
Besides the smoke.
I get up there on Saturday and I'm like, why is this fog not rolling out? And so Herm was standing next to me. Herm's like, no, there's fires or something in Canada. That's what the haze is.
They said the air quality was bad, and like I started losing my voice.
Yeah.
She's like, you're at Chili Bowl?
I mean, you sound like you get that post-nasal trip again.
My post-nasal trip.
Speaking of Saturday, shout out to Stewie. Stewie finally steals a win there. When I say steals it, I don't know what the hell Ben Rhodes was doing.
He went from 18th to the lead in like 4 laps, dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
I mean, and just like
Experience.
Yeah. But you get him that close to Canada, and it's just showing out again.
Thought he was at Ush weekend.
But like the thing for me was that last restart night. I don't know if I think Ben might have got tricked because the lineup was who the hell was leading? I think Grant was leading, Corry was second, and Ben was third coming to that last restart choose. And Corry was kind of shading left a little bit. Grant took the top last second, and the 99 was up top. And the last second, Corry moved to the top. And I don't know if the 99 got caught in a spot where he was worried if he tried to crank down, he might clip the box. So now he triple stacks the top instead of taking the front row. Stewie's running fourth. They hand him the front row. Obviously, he's taking it
from 18th.
Yeah, and then and then he ends up winning the race. So great for Stewie. I mean, this is a guy that could easily have thrown the towel in and gone and made a good living running.
He still makes a good living.
I mean, he still makes a good living, but
dirt.
I mean, he could go do a full time and probably have a lot more fun.
He's still doing full time dirt.
But this deal here has been a kind of a I mean, it's been a war for him the last 4 or 5 years. So just to see him get a win on a place like that in that fashion was really fun to watch.
I feel like he's under the radar as much travel as he does.
Oh my God!
Like it's not talked about very much.
And where he comes from and what he has to do, all the different little airports he has to fly in and out of. It's a mess for him, but he does it.
Yeah, he gets some racing in.
Oh, that is for sure. I will say, thankfully, Bowman's okay.
Yeah. Wow, what a hard hit.
That was a shot.
Todd Gillen had a hard hit too.
Yeah, Todd did have a rear impact, right? He spun out backwards, get a left rear flag.
I knew Bowman must have hit hard because
immediate
red flag.
Yeah.
I think there was 2 things. I think they saw a lot of oil coming out of the car on the live because you could see it dumping out of the front. And then they probably were concerned he broke the wall like they did in the truck race the other day because he hit just as hard as those guys, and I seen them up there checking it. But I mean, it was definitely an impact where if we're ever going to go instant red, that was one that we probably needed.
He's had some big hits with this car.
Did I mention that Denny won? I don't know if I mentioned that.
You haven't, which is surprising.
That guy's great.
I know what college fan he is. That's for sure.
I mean, depends on who he's trying to piss
Bandwagon.
off.
Yeah, he just.
But no, Dodge coming back was big news this weekend. Not a lot of insight to teams.
Didn't see that coming, huh?
Yeah, it's surprising. I got 14 pictures sent to my DMs on like Friday. Like, what is this truck? Like, there's a truck on the racetrack. I was like, yeah. And I meant to mention it last week because we kind of knew the announcement was coming this week because it's, Michigan after all. And I forgot. But, there was a lot of rumors that maybe GMS was coming back and kind of leading this charge. I kind of heard that quieted down a little bit.
I was about to say, do we have any insight on who it is or what they're doing?
I think, really, I think Cletus is probably involved somewhere here. You see those rumors. I wouldn't surprise me if the team that Cletus runs for in ARCA, Rhett Jones, which is Terry Jones, is not afraid of anything in the world. Like he's willing to make a splash. Yeah, he's willing to make a splash any way he can. You got Zippy over there, in charge of that team now, or kind of running that team with Mark Rhett.
Think Biffle's coming back?
No, he might. You never know.
That'd be sick if he did.
Please.
But that's a team I think to look out for. Like I said, the Gallagher stuff kind of quieted down this weekend. It seemed like. Daniel's name's mentioned because I know his dad's got some Dodge dealerships throughout Florida and stuff. So I don't know, but I haven't really heard anything. Thor Sport's probably going to end up there. I mean, they run every other manufacturer across the board.
Might as well.
I don't know why they wouldn't try again, but yeah, no real concrete info on what teams. I don't think unless you've heard something.
No,
different.
I mean, same thing. I've heard all the rumors that you've just said.
So it's not Dodge, right? It's Ram. I don't understand. We changed the name, like it's just now Ram Trucks.
Well, the Ram trucks.
Ram truck.
Yeah, I'm saying, but it's like there was
Ram.
no Dodge mentioned in the.
There's a lot of Dodge.
Everything I see is just Ram. You get Ram trucks, but all right, whatever.
It's a Ram.
And
truck.
they saw something else about Adam Stern reported that they were very close to signing another manufacturer. Which
Honda, right?
Honda was the rumored one, I would assume.
I've been hearing that for a long time.
Yeah, that seems like it's been around
That's
for a while.
why we can't have more horsepower.
Yeah, and that's the one that I don't know that I'm gonna like. I don't know how I'm gonna be a little conflicted about that because I feel like we're gonna end up in a balance of power situation because they're not gonna run the same engines, right? I mean, they don't have the same engine. So like,
what do you mean?
Like they were talking last year, like they don't have the capabilities of building what we run. Like they were talking about running a different type of engine and trying to make them compatible to what we have.
In the cup level?
Does Honda not have V8s?
Yeah, I don't think so. So
I don't think so. No.
So that's going to be something that's going to be pretty tricky. Where you're looking at like sports car racing, where you're talking about balance of power and trying to even the scales, where we're all not running the same exact thing. So I don't know how I feel about that one, but I'll reserve comment until what actually happens, I guess.
till it becomes.
But this is good. This is what we
know
want.
how you spotters are. We just go ahead and make comments.
We don't shut our mouths ever. But no, I mean, it's good for the sport. To see more manufacturers coming in is only going to help the sport, I think. So hopefully we get a bunch of them. Hey, everyone. When you're a homeowner, there are a lot of things to juggle. Let our great partner, American Financing, help you with finding ways to save and one less thing to juggle each month.
American Financing is licensed in all 50 states, and they are a family-owned mortgage lender that's been around for 25 years. They've helped hundreds of thousands of homeowners create meaningful savings.
If you've got any high-interest loans, American Financing can use your home's equity and roll that high-interest debt into one simple, affordable payment.
They're saving homeowners an average of $800 a month. Just think of what you could do with savings like that.
They offer real solutions to put you back in the driver's seat. It starts with one call, and it takes just 10 minutes to get started.
There are no upfront fees, and it doesn't cost anything to find out how much you could save. What are you waiting for? Plus, American Financing employs salary-based consultants, meaning they don't work off commission. They're just great people looking to help you save.
You may be able to close in as fast as 10 days, and you may be able to delay up to 2 mortgage payments by refinancing, creating more savings up front if you need it. But hey, just don't take our word for it. Check out their incredible reviews on Google.
Call today, 866-889-5022. That's 866-889-5022 or AmericanFinancing.net/door.
Call American Financing today to find out how customers are saving an average of $800 a month. 866-889-5022 or visit AmericanFinancing.net/door. NMLS 182334. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
You ready for spot on, spot off?
Sure.
All right, fuel strategy dominates an entertaining Michigan race. Spot on, spot off. Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, I think, unfortunately, the guys that gambled didn't take enough fuel. I don't know if they were thinking that maybe, Freddie, that everybody was going to gamble and they were going to slow the pace down and be able to make it, but that didn't happen because some of you guys took your time and filled the tanks up a little bit more to be able to charge what needed to be charged. I thought I would have never imagined a 24 being short the way he was running. I thought maybe they just said hell with it and seen it. Yeah, I don't know. That's not Rudy, but that was like, oh man, I would have never imagined the way they were running. But you can see Denny. There was a shift with 11 to go that all of a sudden about 5 or 6 cars were like a half a second faster, and Denny was one of them at that time. And I was like, oh boy, some guys are not going to make it here. And there was some free spots for all of us, obviously. But yeah, no, it was. I mean,
I needed if we had to run another lap, I might have been 15th.
Yeah. We might have been 22nd, right?
Yeah.
I
was counting them.
I mean, like I said, it's so hard. I mean, we're running 36th on the lead lap. I mean, all 36. Well, at one point, the 12 car was laps down, but there was 35 of us on the lead lap. And when the car should come out, we were still half a track behind only half a track behind the leader. I mean, the field's that close, and Blaney's riding behind us, pushing us, helping us stay in the pack because he's the only one laps down, and he knows, well, what's the sense of charging up front because the 51, as soon as he goes down a lap, I'm done. So he's just helping the 51. So I mean, it was just the race.
Smart thinking. Not a lot of people think about that.
No.
Like most people just want to just drive
get around this guy.
there.
Yeah.
At one point, we were 3 wide. We were trying to pass the 22 and somebody else, and he gassed it up and pushed the 22 ahead of us, and he was gone. I'm like, you son of a. But man, the field is so tough, and you have to take those gambles, right, Ricky? I mean, if you're in that position that you're 7th or 8th, right? What do you do, man?
Yeah, I like the field strategy. I think Charlotte, we were running 12th, and we learned not to do it under caution. We filled up under caution and went out 22nd or 23rd, and then you claw your way back. But at the end of the race, we gained about 4 spots because people were running out of gas. But we bit the bullet early and filled up, and so I think it helps, the strategy side. You're just constantly, if you do one can all race, you were going to be about 16 gallons short. So you're going to have to fill up a couple times, at some point throughout that race. And so, again, that's all the things that we're looking at, pre-race of, trying to figure out what strategy is going to lay out. But then, cautions come and, kind of throw everything upside down. And you got to be, good on the fly to kind of figure that out. To Tommy's point, what the 20 did, seemed like it could have worked out really well. But, that was a play that they probably just came up with it, when the scenario came up, right?
Yeah. There's only 2 of them that were going to be able to do that and be able to succeed was the first and second place guy, because they were like 5 seconds ahead of third place at the time. So,
it was like something like that was mentioned in our pre-race meeting, but it was kind of like a, if we find ourselves in a up position, this is a play we could do to try to get track position for the last stage. And like you said, he was probably a lap away from that being a really good strategy, but unfortunately, yellow comes out, burns him, stick a lap down.
And then he was stuck.
And then you really see him again,
right?
yeah. And listen, this fuel strategy stuff happened from the first pit stop. You know what I mean? There was guys, we were running like 8th or 9th, and you could see it. If you go back and watch the race, there's guys on the first stop that gained, I think Hocevar was one of them, gained 7 spots because he just put 1 can in probably, or maybe a little less, and just, he jumps the field now, but he's in a disadvantage where he's going to have to everybody had to bite the bullet at some time, like you said. Like you could short fill and get some track position, maybe steal some stage points, but at some point, I think the 12 happened. The 12 was up front leading. He had to fill up. He ends up coming out like 3rd or 4th from last of that cycle. So it's just like you.
Well, that's when the car should come out and half the field, the back half of the field pitted. Then there was a quick caution, and 12 laps later, everybody was in their window, but the group that pitted was still pretty good because of all those cautions.
We were in our window the prior caution because we came down pit road, but then again we were gonna, like, if we stayed out, we were gonna be short at some point.
Yeah, at some point you're gonna have to fill up at the end of the stage.
So we were like in the kind of 15th ish. We're like, well, let's just pit and not cut. And then another thing that people don't talk about, which happened at Charlotte, was if you keep not filling it up, when you do fill it up, your balance is super loose. And you saw that at Charlotte. People that didn't do it early in the race and they waited to the end, they found out how loose it would get, especially Charlotte at night. And man, it changes your balance a lot too.
I give Charles a lot of credit because Charles kind of kept us right in the middle of it all day long. Like, we would take a couple seconds extra, like a second can, a couple seconds of extra can every time, and we never really got buried, and we never really got super good track position. We just kind of stayed around 10th or 15th, drove up and got stage points each stage. Obviously, at the end, we're in a good position. He kept us on offense.
When your car's that fast, it's easy.
You guys haven't really gambled all year long. You've been in that doing that safe thing. Every race, really.
Yeah, it's
the law of averages, right?
You don't need to. Yeah,
but y'all gotten more stage points this year than
way more. I mean, obviously the plate races helped us a lot. We got a bunch of the plate races, but it was just raw speed. Qualifying better, obviously, is a huge thing. So you find yourself in getting stage 1 points a lot, and then just like you said, just having good race cars, not it up, just like Bubba said yesterday. Look what we can do when we just execute. And that was a day of just doing what we had to do. Not taking any risks. We never got in a position where we had to go, we got to put a lot of fuel in, and this is gonna suck. It was always like you said, a can in 2 or 3 seconds, a can in 4 seconds, whatever it was, to where we lost track position every time. I think we probably lose 3 or 4 spots, but we never got buried, and we were always able to kind of drive. We never got out of the 20s, I don't think, out of the top 20, and we were able to always drive back up in there with a good car, thankfully. So, I just thought it was just crazy to me at the end there. Those guys were willing to risk so, like the 77, obviously blew a left rear tire, whatever, wore left rear tire out, but he was 4 laps short. Like, he was screwed. Like, I guess are you just banking on cautions at that point?
You have no choice. I mean, you have to.
I mean, you got a choice.
Just getting the TV time.
No, at that time when you've already laid,
but I'm saying,
made your bed and you're going. I mean,
I'm just saying, on the pit stop. Why would you?
I'm sure they weren't planning on being 4 laps short. I'm just think they just didn't get enough fuel in at the time, right? They miscalculated, and the gas man could have. I didn't see it. He could have missed a hole for a split second. Could have not walked with the car for a split second more needed. There's a lot of things in that situation that if you get that extra gallon and a half, you're set. But all of a sudden you weigh a can, then you sit back and you're like, man, we're 4 laps short. Well, what are we going to do? We're leading the race. We're second right now. What we're going to do, come back in and top off, or we're going to pray for a caution? Well, we need to pray for a caution.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. I think that them guys really just short filled for track position and got burned by no yellows. I mean, there was a lot of yellows in the middle of that race, so there was probably reason to think that we might have got some more late. But, you know, it was just, I felt like those guys took a big risk. Rudy, you know, another one. Like, Denny, I heard them tell Denny he was a quarter a lap to the good. Like, that's comforting, you know, especially, and that's, you know, so those guys are all, you know, I mean, we came off pit road, and I think we were like a half a lap or a lap to the good, and we were like 14th. So that meant everybody in front of us, I felt like, was in worse shape than us, you know, and you know, so it was just seemed like a.
Well, it all depends on how much food you took the run before, where you were at. So I mean, it all heads up to get to the money stop, right? To what position you're in and what you got to do. So, I just half a second on pit road, Ricky. How many spots is that nowadays, right? And cautions.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, a half a second is 10 spots.
Yeah, that's insane. It's crazy.
And
how in the car
you feel like you're sitting there for it.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's what Denny almost got himself a penalty yesterday because, you know, I think you guys get in the mindset of like you start seeing the guys you're racing take off.
Yeah.
And Denny's fueler was plugged in, and honestly, it probably should have been a penalty, but I won't say that anywhere but here.
Because you work for him?
Yeah. But, you know, the can. The rule is obviously you can't drag the can out. Either I think it was the front carrier does a great job of playing goalie because the gas man loses the can, it pops out of the car eventually, and he plays goalie and stops it from rolling in the box in front of him.
They practice that.
I mean, but the rule is also, you know, the car's got to be in the box while it's getting serviced. The can is still technically plugged in as the nose of the car left the box. It felt like it was close. It was falling out for sure. I think the gas man had already lost control of it, so it's hard to say exactly where it was.
If he didn't own the race team that
I would have black flagged that son of a.
He'd be going on a way bigger rant right now.
You would have thrown the review flag.
Yeah,
they rescinded the nines penalty, right?
Yeah, I didn't see what the nines
was that
penalty
one for?
was. I didn't. Probably.
I think it's probably the same thing.
Interference
or something. Yeah. But that was in that case with Denny was just a case of he didn't wait. You know, I don't know how you guys do it. Bubba always wants the fuel man to nod. They're counting down to a certain amount of time, but it's usually Bubba's going off the nod of the fuel man. Yep. And
how does he see the nod of the fuel
man? In the mirror.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Okay. He looks.
And then but Denny just took off and said it was, you know, he f***ed up. You know, he's like, oh, it was on me. He's like, I just took off when they dropped the jack and obviously screwed up. So, you know, but to your point, like it's so hard to sit there.
Was that the last stop?
No, it was it was I mean, it wasn't far from you. It was middle of the race probably, I forget. But, you know, they were lucky. It was pretty bad.
Well, here, I'll give you another chance to talk about Denny some more because I know you love to.
Oh, yeah.
Denny gets out of the car and says, "Daddy, I'm sorry, but I beat your favorite driver." Spot on, spot off.
Did he say that?
Spot off.
I
come
mean,
up with something new. Come on, Denny.
I mean, God almighty.
I know there's a lot of stuff in his head that he could come up with.
I mean, listen, I always say the guy's great, but this was awful. Like, we've got to do something better than this.
He loves to taunt everybody, though.
I mean, that's good. I don't mind that.
He feeds off of it, and
then he sits back.
We go on the golf course, and he loves it.
Oh, I bet he is.
Loves it.
He's painful on a golf course, I bet.
He is, I can tell you, the more you like try and mess with him on the golf course, the better he plays.
Yeah, well, that shows on the racetrack too, right?
Yep.
The mentality he has.
We've got to stop with this damn beat your favorite driver. Like, if he would have outrun like Chase or Larson or Blaney or somebody, I'd be okay with it. But he just beat the folk hero Chris Buescher. I mean, it's not the ultra popular driver. That, you know what I mean? Like
Jesus, Freddie.
I'm just saying, it's not like the guy.
Jack's got a lot of fans up there.
Jack does have a lot of fans up
Ty
there.
Gibbs finished third.
Half of the fans probably work at Roush Industries.
Yeah, probably. I saw a lot of Roush pocketbooks.
Yeah.
Like I liked I liked the leaning into the 11 against the world because they had the flag at the damn national championship game. That stuff's fun. Those fans were at the track again. I saw him take some pictures with them. That stuff's funny, I think. And I'm all for being. We need a heel. You know, we need. Kyle's kind of softened up now that he's not winning races, so we need an. And Denny's obviously happy to take that role. Yeah, but
now Kyle softened up because he went from the 18 to the 8.
That's what I'm saying.
Chevy at Childress. He didn't soften up.
It's hard to be the heel when you're not in victory lane very often.
The thing is, when he got by to 24, which is pretty funny, the crowd was cheering. Then he got out of the car and said they went from cheers to...
He did the Ohio State, the OH.
It was good, though. It was loud. And like you said, the fans showed up.
But that type of stuff is fun. I mean, that's a fun nudging, right? I mean,
I knew the OH was coming, obviously, after going to the national championship and stuff. And
don't be so hard on your boss, Freddie.
Well, I'm listening. We just got to do a better job. I know he's more original than that. He's talking about in the press conference afterwards. He's talking about how he's cherishing these wins because he's getting older and he doesn't know. I mean, he's got 3 this year. There's got to assume there's more coming, but
plenty fast.
But so that's what you want. You're talking about this could be your last win, so that's what you want. Victory Lane is this cheesy ass line you've given already 3 times. Like, let's do better. We got to do better, bud.
Wow. All right.
Damn, Freddie.
Corey Himes says, I rolled to Gio's bumper and there was nothing. He didn't go. Spot on, spot off.
Caution. Hold on. Caution come out.
What?
Caution come out the second stage yesterday to both spotters from the truck race. Hirschman
and Kimmel
were arguing about the truck race.
Still,
During
yesterday
the cup race?
Still arguing. They were arguing before. They were arguing during the cup race. Eddie, I was standing next to Eddie, and all of a sudden I get this rib in my ribs. I'm like, holy, they're still arguing.
It's hard, and Ricky, maybe you can talk about this more like restarting wise. But for me, the biggest thing is to remember that you're at a 2-mile racetrack because a lot of these kids come from short track racing where you're full focus on a restart. At short track racing is to get a good launch, try to get a gap, get clear, whatever it is. And this place is the exact opposite. Like you're trying to keep the guys behind you as tight as possible to get rolling.
Yeah, and that happened a lot yesterday where, one guy just didn't time it right and it just kills the whole line. But there's a lot of times that I feel like you said, short track racing, you want to just kind of hit and just get going, but you got to be super smooth on, super speedways, Michigan, because you want to get there and stay there. I've never driven a truck, so I have no idea how the bumpers. No.
Oh wow.
I don't know how the bumpers line up, but watching Michigan, not very good.
Yeah, but if you, more than what was said, right?
Yeah.
What the 11 truck relayed to Tony, his spotter, to go tell Frankie what he was doing.
Gotcha.
And it just didn't get.
Yeah.
And from all the arguing I think was going on yesterday, I don't think it ever got
message
relayed.
did not get delivered.
No.
So basically what happened was Corry and Hocevar had been doing this for multiple restarts earlier in the race. Hocevar was leading. Corry he would be running second, choose behind Hocevar, and would just say, I'm going to roll and be on your bumper at the first line, and you go, and I'll shove the hell out of you down in turn 1. Because that's, a lot of times you see guys splitting each other off, and all you're doing is hurting your own line.
Yep.
Like, you're just killing yourself. So, like, the idea is get your going, and then, get your line going through 1 and 2.
We'll get first and second.
Yeah, we'll get clear,
later.
and then we'll race it out.
Yeah.
And so Corry just, I think, relayed to Tony Hirschman that, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to roll to his bumper at the start of the box. Let's get going, try to get pushed. Gio, inexperienced kid, in his mind, I'm the leader of the race. I'll go whenever I want.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't think that it should be, downplayed that it was Ross Chastain starting next to him. So that's got to be in your head a little bit as a young kid. But unfortunately, that message, like whatever, didn't get delivered. But they get to the box. Gio kind of slows the pace down. Doesn't go right away. Now here's Corry thinking he's going to go right away because he doesn't know that the message hasn't been delivered. He gets on him. He starts pushing. The bottom sees Corry go. They start pushing in front.
Both lines were atrocious.
It's just both lines were just piling into the front too.
Whether they, the outside lane didn't do the job that they were planning on, I think they were going to get wrecked.
Yeah, because it was ugly.
It was coming from the bottom.
That Gio never lifted.
Yeah.
If you see that son of a was 110 miles an hour drive. Just trying to do whatever he could do to keep.
Yeah.
That was
wild.
You think he's going to get nominated?
That might be a good shit show.
You can nominate him if you want
nominee. But yeah, it's just
again, communication is key, right?
Yeah, and the biggest thing to remember is like you're not like it's like I said, you're just in those situations at those places, Daytona, Talladega, Michigan for the trucks, like. Every other place you go, you're trying to get a gap, or maybe the mile and a half, you're trying to keep the guy on you tight to get a good push. But like, you're not trying to get a great launch to get away from everybody at that place. You're trying to keep yourself kind of boxed up and get going at the same time.
So in everybody's defense,
everybody's
in the truck,
wow,
and in the truck series, that's the first time being there in 5 years. There was only I think one driver that's ever raced a truck there, right? That was Crafton,
probably.
Right,
he's been there for 50
the only guys that really knew how to do the restarts correctly were the Cup guys that were in the field.
Yeah.
And the 11. He studies. The kid's good, right? He knows what to do. But he's been in Cup races, so he kind of understands a little bit, right? So man, you got to listen, right? There's certain guys there, and they were all around Gio at the time, right? I just feel if the message, Gio's smart, he's a good race car driver. The kid's pretty good, right? Probably if the message was delivered the correct way, I think it would have been a different outcome.
Yeah, and listen, that was it turned into a disaster at the end once they broke the wall. But the first half of that race,
great race.
The truck
Race
race
was
there,
amazing.
yeah, that truck race. I'm glad they made the change they made because I thought the Xfinity race there sucked last year with the package they ran.
Yeah.
It was kind of single file, hard to pass. That truck race, every time we've gone there, me and Bubba went and won with Huffman's truck. I don't even know, like one of the last races they had there, and that was one of the most fun races you spotted because it was like old plate racing. You know, you're trying to build runs, you're trying to block runs, you're trying to do I want the lead now? You know, you got a lot of got to think about a lot of stuff there. So I thought it was a really great race to watch on television, and of course, unfortunately, it turned into a disaster at the end. But it was really good for a while before
Michigan turned out good. It was almost like we need a worn out 2 mile racetrack somewhere.
If we just had one of those somewhere.
Yeah. Huh.
All right, Corry LaJoie returns to Spire for 9 truck races with the team. Also worth noting, I had a lot to say about this, but
Do you want to go
he
spot on
regrets all the negative comments that he made earlier in the year, and he explained it was during a 5-day fast. If that matters
I've done a
to you.
fast, not 5 days, but
Has that made you ever say anything stupid when you were fasting?
no. But
No.
It's a excuse for that.
it you do not feel great, I can tell you that. So I don't know. 2 extra days. I've only done 3, so
Listen, Corry had to eat a lot of humble pie this week. Two fronts. Those stupid comments he made back in the offseason or whatever it was. And listen, Corry, whether he wanted to say it or not, didn't want to go to the 19 truck because the 19 truck was getting a new crew chief. And Charles was obviously highly regarded. He's obviously doing a great job for us. And you don't know, at the time, he probably didn't know who the crew chief was going to be. And you don't want to go get in a truck that just won 4 races last year and was in the top 5 damn near every race. And you don't know what the truck's going to be like. Now you step in there and don't perform as good, and they're not comparing who the crew chiefs were. They're going, Christian Eckes and Corry LaJoie. What's wrong with Corry? So I think he had valid reasons for not wanting to commit to that. But then what he said in the media was dumb, and maybe it was attributed to a fast. I don't have a lot of experience with that.
I think it's just attributed to his last name
Yeah.
and the genes. I mean, let's
Time out.
face
I want to
it.
go back. You don't have a
not a lot of fasting.
Not a lot of
fasting experience.
Have you been around Corry?
I tried to slip
He
that
says
in
a
there.
lot of stupid things when he's not fasting.
We all do.
Yeah, he's a good kid,
But,
man. He's he loves what he does, and
He's passionate.
Yeah.
And listen, unfortunately for him, he's got to go back to Spire, where he just got replaced last year on the Cup side. So but. And the analogy he made for that, did you catch that one? It
The
was
TikTok thing?
Talking about TikTok. I don't know what
that was
I
interesting.
don't know.
He must have came up with that on his fast also.
Yeah, here's the truth. The truth is they needed someone to fill a non-Cup driver those last races for the playoffs. Well, the accountant probably said, you know what? He's our highest paid employee still. Let's put Corry in the truck for the year.
True.
Right?
Very true.
I mean, let's put the guy that we're paying in the truck.
His analogy was,
Is this like an ex-girlfriend or something?
It's like when you've worked building a house for 5 years and then your wife becomes a TikTok star and says she's not happy anymore and she kicks you out. Then she calls you back a year later and you have to go live in the guest room and she's there with her new boyfriend. That's how this thing goes.
He must have been
that was a lot of thought right there.
Yeah, like where did all
a lot
that
of thought into that?
But that's Corry.
Y'all
man.
just said it pretty slowly, and I still don't really understand.
It's hard to pin down. I mean, it's just like he's saying, just that.
I guess Spire, the wife.
Well, Spire is the wife.
Yeah.
She kicked him out, got a
Right.
new boyfriend, Haley. But now he's got to move back into the shop in the
But
guest
he's, like,
room
in the-
because he's in the
okay.
truck side.
Okay.
But
That had to require a lot of thought. I mean, that was
That wasn't off the cuff.
No, he probably had it written on
No,
his
that
hand.
was with Corry. That's right off the cuff.
You think so?
I walk away sometimes going, man, I thought my old man said some took me 2-3 days to figure it out, but this some got him covered.
And listen, I think it's great that Corry's out there. I think we need Corry on the racetrack because he's got a big personality. He's doing a really, really good job on the television side. I feel like, with especially the post race stuff. Corry's a buddy of mine. I've known him for a long time, and he's a good race car driver. And I hope he's in position the other day. I don't think their truck had the speed that they needed to pull the win off, but he did a good job of missing all the like you would expect an experienced guy to do, and he put himself in a position where he might have won that race. So
I would say Kyle Busch says that truck's not as fast as the others.
Yeah, that was interesting.
The 7 is by far.
Yeah.
Patty's got that thing.
Yeah,
rolling.
7 and the 71 are the two best trucks.
I think definitely the
Yeah,
other trucks have a little.
Yeah,
little
I mean
more
the
speed to be
77,
looking for.
that kid's still learning, right? But
Yeah.
you got Brian Patty and Bono, those two. I mean, look, Alan does a really good job. He's been an engineer for many years.
Yeah.
He's still learning, but they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll never know, man.
Yeah, for sure. But it's good. It's good that he's out there. We give him and I'll give him forever about racing in front of 12 fans. But I want to give him shit the other night because he tweeted something about some.
That's just why you don't say dumb like that, though.
Well,
Because look, now you got to run a bunch of truck races.
He was fasting. But he tweeted something about like a lawnmower race.
The lawnmower, yeah, dude.
That was badass. And I was
I don't know where
who
that
cares
was.
about that? There's only 4 fans in the stands. I mean,
It reminded me of his field fillers place,
We were,
yeah, it was.
yeah. I mean,
which had more than 12.
We had more than 12 with the field fillers.
Yeah.
I couldn't find hotel rooms one night. I was coming from Myrtle Beach back to Caraway to race. We won Myrtle Beach. Pulling it. I said, no rooms? Why? Lawnmower race right up the road. the Nationals. I'm like,
The
wait,
Lawnmower
there's a
Nationals.
national lawnmower
Lawnmower
race?
Nationals.
Oh, you gotta love it.
They used to race lawnmowers at Millbridge. I'll never forget that. This one lady, her pack of cigs fell out of her pocket, and they got ran over on the racetrack. And they got done, and she was like running around trying to beat somebody's ass because she thought somebody stole her cigarettes. They were on the racetrack.
Nice.
Anyways, all right. Seating for the in-season tournament is based on the best finish for drivers top 32 in points over 3 races: Michigan, Pocono, and Mexico.
Ricky, you know who you're going against right now after
I
yesterday
wasn't
only?
finished reading my point yet.
Oh,
I didn't even know that's how it.
But go ahead.
That's what I'm going to
I
get
still
to.
I thought we'd go off of like the points or something.
Weird. Who would think that? Yeah,
It
I'm
says
sorry.
if there's a tie, the tie will be broken by the second best finishing position, and if there's still a
Still no
tie,
points.
it will be the third best finishing position.
I hope somebody ties and all that.
I mean,
I'm confused.
listen, I will say this.
I'm not confused.
I am.
It's
We got a picture here.
I'm
with-
going to get on a 5-hour rant. I'm going to get on a rant because I've been on a 5-hour fast now. But
I'm just gonna say, if I ever say something stupid, like sorry, I was
5
fasting.
hours.
yeah, I think I have to go back. It might be even longer. I might be going crazy. But this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Jesus, Freddie.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
It's not a hill I'm willing to die on, but this is pretty stupid. Like, why are we not just doing the point standings?
I really thought it was point standings.
I think
and
everybody
then-
did.
You know what?
Yeah.
I got the. How's the NBA? How does the NBA do it?
They play each
Standings.
other like head to head. They break up into groups and play each other.
Like
And
actual
become
tournament
groups.
style.
I don't know how they determine the groups because it's not. I don't think it's off the standings. I don't know. But I just don't like. To this point, like in our DBC group chat last night, we have a lot of people in there that
I turned the ringer off. I did. I'm like, I can't.
There's
deal
a
with
lot of
this.
people in there that have been doing in this sport for a long time, and it took us 35 minutes, probably almost 45 minutes to figure out what the hell the format was. Because originally I thought it was full season points. Then I thought, okay, no, it's the next 3 races.
I was
so it
pumped
must
because
be-
I'm like, at that point, I was like, like when I figured this out, I was like, man, I'm 13th in points. Like
got a good seed.
maybe a good seed, and then then I was like, okay, that doesn't mean anything.
So yeah, I mean, we should look. I mean, it's
Well, right now you're 20th.
I'm a 20th seed right
you're a
now.
20 seed. I mean, that's just. I
So
don't,
who would you be racing? 20th.
I
well,
got
like
no-
that's the thing
It's a
for
ladder.
us. So I'm the 4 seed. Guess who we would race right now? Blaney. He's the 28
Ooh.
seed. Like,
Yeah.
it's just what I mean. He's going to get better because he's going to get a better finish than what he had yesterday. I would hope.
Are you sure?
But yeah, not positive with him lately. I mean, the poor guy. But it's just to me, I don't understand. And the biggest thing for me is
Maybe we will after Mexico. Pocono. Right?
Pocono is the last one. But like, why make it so confusing for your fans? Because if we don't understand it, how the hell can you expect the average fan sitting on the couch?
Well,
to
I
understand
sure
it?
don't
Average fan might be
understand it.
smarter than you, Freddie.
Well, that's probably true.
And I think it's done for a reason for us to talk about it, and
Maybe.
people start paying attention. At the end of the day, there's going to be a chart after Pocono, who's going against who, and then it's game on.
It just seems like there's such an opportunity for like just tiebreaker after tiebreaker because like
I feel like they should. I mean, do they have a board already?
right now,
Yeah.
it's basically just
After
wherever you finished
yesterday's
yesterday.
race.
Well, I know, but like I didn't know if they had like.
I didn't
oh,
see
hey,
that. I
here
haven't
it is.
seen
I
one.
asked our producer to do that last night so we can talk about it, but no one.
Andrew was
dang.
busy. He
Well,
was-
if you wouldn't have turned the group chat off, you would have seen that he said you.
Fair enough.
I just really want it to be a lot easier for the fan to understand. But I mean, once we get to the tournament, it'll be very easy
Well,
to
who
understand.
finished 30? Let's see.
It's
got the rundown.
I mean, like Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs has been 28th in points all the time. He's
Now
the
he's got
3
a
seed
3
right
seed.
now. You know, it's just I feel
So
like
he has to go against Hocevar.
yeah. I mean, that's obviously going to change, but like he's. Hocevar, again, you think he'd finish. Maybe I don't know how his road coursing racing is, but it's just it seems to me like your full season should determine your what are we racing for? It's money, right? I mean, I forget how much money it is.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah. So I mean,
Look at his smile on his face.
$1 million.
So, Ricky, what do you think? Why they did this? Just to like pick the
Don't get
energy up a
yourself
little
called a
bit.
baller.
I don't know. I mean,
Pick the energy up a little bit because it did help in the
they're
NBA.
going to take
did.
2311's money and let us race for it.
I don't know. So
Are we
anyway,
supposed to be talking about that?
did I say Denny's great yet? I'm just checking.
Denny,
A couple times, I think.
he's getting ready to be broke.
No, this is. I don't know. I think it's cool. I mean, it gives you who won it like theoretically last year. Reddick,
I think no.
What,
maybe
if they
I think
did
it was
this?
Byron.
really?
I think so. I could be 100% wrong.
What they did
It was
this
Reddit?
last year?
Does this
Yeah, right.
end
It
after
was-
Pocono?
it was the-
Like that's when
they
you
did
get the
this
million?
last
the
year?
seating. Yeah, well,
so
we
they
didn't-
did like a mock
Oh,
one
yeah,
last
yeah.
year to show people how it.
Oh, I should have paid
the
attention.
seating ends. They seat them and
After Pocono.
We'll be in brackets after Pocono for the next 5 races. I think it is. It's like
Yeah.
all of the TNT races.
It's a
Got
lot
it.
of odd races too.
yeah,
like it's not like
it's Atlanta.
straightforward.
It's Atlanta. There's 2 road courses.
Atlanta to start.
Yeah, you could be.
Can
I
I
mean,
make
wild.
That's going to
Yeah.
be interesting,
Crazy.
though.
and then
Atlanta,
there's
Chicago,
road
Sonoma,
courses.
Dover, Indy.
ended in
Wow.
Or no?
Yeah, 2 road courses.
Dover
Yeah,
and Indy.
it's Chicago and Sonoma, and then so it's Atlanta,
Yeah.
Chicago, Sonoma, the first 3. So if you manage to survive those,
Ricky, you're not going to be so good. You're going to struggle in a road.
well,
course.
Atlanta, he might
Finished
Atlanta-
6th at Chicago
But if you
last
win-
year. Come on.
Yeah, but if he wins, he's already.
No, there's no.
No, it's just head-to-head.
There's no win. There's no win in your end for this.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, I know that's,
Sorry, Ricky.
that's another rule. That's
Easy. I
confusing.
finished 6th at Chicago last year.
What
It's
the,
all
hell
right.
what the hell are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, get the guy a
Dang,
break.
Tommy.
Sorry.
Fuck.
Oh boy,
Well, that's
Carson.
confusing. What?
I know how
We
you.
should
just,
be said of what's got Freddie fired up today.
I just
Yeah.
that had me fired up. I told you. And
Nothing has had
and
me
I'm
fired
hungry.
up the last couple of weeks.
You're
She's
fasting.
been
And
chill
I'm hungry.
all morning. She said she had an off weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah, has
fired
done
up. Come on,
nothing.
let's get
What?
start yelling about something.
Yeah,
Nothing.
something.
I'm not. I don't really have
Are
anything
you
to
fired
yell
up
about.
that your boy got penalized
Who?
from the late model race?
Did anybody get penalized?
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, the fight.
The
kid
Cars
that fought.
tour? Did
Oh,
was
Connor
that penal-
Jones?
Yeah,
No, I mean I thought the punishment fit the crime.
I don't.
I mean,
What
I
happened?
don't.
why? All right, let's go.
What happened?
They were,
What's wrong?
They were fighting last
You know
week
he
in the
didn't
Cars
get
tour.
penalized for fighting.
That's fine.
What do you know
What do you
about Connor
got
He
Jones?
got penalized
I don't
for
know
the way
anything
that he
about
pulled in the pits.
You know any reputation?
All right. Well, that's a
Because why would we? I don't think that they should get penalized for the way that they fought, anyways.
Okay.
Do
Well, they
you?
didn't fight.
I thought
That was
yeah.
the first thing was
Where
they,
It
was
was
this at?
barely a fight.
they were
Where
at
was this
Langley,
at?
I think.
Langley
Langley.
last weekend.
Oh, so he was. I didn't know. I didn't.
He
never
pulled in
saw
the
it.
pits like a bat out of hell, and people had to scramble.
Oh,
so
then
that's what he
no
got
good.
penalized
That's
for.
No good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
for
take
fighting.
that back. Sorry.
Damn, you about got me going.
What besides Tommy? What else had you
No,
fired?
I mean really, nothing else really. I still update on the snake problem. I still haven't gone out my back door since I found that snake.
That was a month ago.
I know. I had to take my trash out like couple days ago, and I put on rubber boots, and I was like, if this thing comes out from underneath the
Are your
rug,
boots outside?
no.
Okay.
No,
they
hell
go.
no.
They'll
That's
pro
say
right
you
in.
got to turn it upside
There'll be
down
a snake
before
in my
you-
boot. No, I went outside for the first time Friday.
Ricky's probably got
Since
snake
I-
experience, but how can we?
Yeah,
run
how can I
I
get
don't like
rid of it?
snakes, but yeah, there's a lot around.
I
our-
figured the slide
our place.
job's got plenty
Yeah,
over
we got
there.
plenty of snakes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
nothing.
over there, I bet there is.
A lot. Yeah.
No, we had an off weekend, so there's really nothing for me to get fired up about.
Can we be fired up about Big Al's not?
Well, yeah, and why the did Big House lose their liquor license?
But I did talk to Kyle. Kyle swears they'll have it back by tomorrow. So
Should we go tomorrow and make
maybe
sure?
we'll go make sure at lunchtime.
How long has it been
tomorrow.
out?
I think this week. I don't know. Somebody tweeted at us.
So it hasn't
Yeah.
disrupted
No, I have
It
not.
hasn't- our
Actually,
schedule.
well, I was going to go last night. I got back at like 9 o'clock. I was like, this would have been a good night to go to Big Al's, but unfortunately, I'm not going to go because
All you can do is eat.
I'm not going to get chicken tenders.
Just
chicken tenders.
Can
Because
you-
you're fasting.
Yeah.
Can you BYOB?
I don't know. I think that's probably illegal if I had to guess.
But
Well,
not.
Well, I know I've been
As
to,
long as they tell
I've
you
been to a
that-
couple of establishments that are pretty BYOB. There's a couple nice ones.
Jesus.
But that's whatever. Next.
Well, we hope that they can get that resolved soon, so Freddie can get back to his regularly scheduled
Yeah,
programming.
can't throw me off my.
That's the fast we're talking about.
That's my fast. I'm fasting on alcohol.
God, no wonder you've been such a.
Yeah, that's sorry.
All right, we ready for some
No
reaction
wonder this
theater?
in-season tournament just got him fired.
Got him pissed off.
I'm over here.
He got rash, sweating, breaking out in sweats.
Like they're trying to give us more money, Freddie. Just chill
This
out.
is like
He hates it.
This is like the third day of you not drinking.
Yeah, that's all.
You okay?
Do you feel refreshed?
Yeah, I feel great.
Feel good?
Hey, it's Dale Jr. Did you know that we've got brand new merch from our Stars, Stripes, and Beers collection available now? We've got tanks, tees, beach towels, and more just in time for summer. Check it all out at shop.dirtymomedia.com.
We had an issue where Carson was getting propositions often on here.
It was getting weird.
It was getting a
It
little
was getting a
awkward.
little weird.
I thought that one guy was.
One guy sent his resume,
one that
and
sent the resume?
Tommy signed him up.
Tommy's still rooting for
Full
him.
resume?
Full, like full
I mean,
resume.
full resume.
Past
Full
dating experience.
All the issues he
Medications
has,
that he
all the
takes. Like
I mean, it
this.
fits right in with her stuff. I mean, what she takes. So I thought it would be a good.
What, have you been going through my cabinets?
Just guessing.
Did they like leave references and everything?
Yeah,
Everything.
actually, his ex-girlfriend and his best friend were his references.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Dang.
I think it's well known now that Tommy Baldwin can get a little angry at racetracks, but when Prime cut second stage to the 51 box, damn, Tommy, I didn't realize you turned into the Jack Link Sasquatch on the box.
There's the guy on your box.
Yeah, he was up there for a Prime promotional.
That poor guy. He's been walking around these tracks. I hope he gets off the clock by July because that thing's got to be hot. I mean, he's out there all day.
How'd they wash that thing?
Maybe they dry clean
You
it.
got to blow dry it.
You think they dry clean it?
Yeah, I don't know.
That thing's got to go to the dry cleaners. Imagine you walk into the dry cleaners and that's just hanging back there.
I'm here to pick up my suit.
Hey, yo, Slick Rick Jr., man, I've been a fan for like over a decade. Much love. I hope you wore the shorts so you can kick Tommy's ass for picking y'all at Nashville and causing the first DNF of the season.
Yeah, you.
Tommy's fault, by the way.
Yeah.
You picked me for Nashville?
Yeah.
You should have called and should have phoned a friend first.
You should have called
It was Hocevar's fault. You were doing good.
Hey, and then I went on to win that one, didn't I? Because I picked
with
him.
Hocevar. Yeah.
Ah, dang.
I was banking on Magic Mike to make things happen.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we were after qualifying, Tommy was pumped.
Yeah, I was.
He's like, I'm going to steal one right here.
Yeah.
Sons of.
I appreciate you being a fan. We'll get you back.
Hell of a race. That avoid Bubba. That's 2 weeks in a row. Let's go, Bubba. Freddie, it's time for you to get the point stash. So if you get the point stash, then that's what, hell, we might win.
I'll quit.
Did he still have it?
Yeah, he
Did he?
still got it. I mean,
Imagine Freddie
So-
without that.
So I
I
don't
do
know
not
that
want
I-
to see his second
way.
chin, do you?
Second, I just
You
like
got
7 of them
chins,
down there, I
3
think. More
There's a
chins,
reason why you got that facial hair down there.
more chins than a Chinese phone book over here.
I don't think you can say that.
Hey, you can take it out. But
You can take it out or not.
Mark,
Nobody knows what a phone book is. So
Yeah, that's the problem with it.
Exactly.
That's why we got to take it out because nobody knows what a phone book is. It's funny. Somebody asked me today. Megan, I've been with Megan now 16 years. She's never seen me without a goatee. So if I just one day showed up without one, I think
you should definitely
She
do
would
it.
divorce
she
you.
would probably leave me. I think it's the problem. So maybe I should do that.
Dang.
No, if she hasn't left yet, I don't think she's ever gonna. I
Meg.
think she's
She's committed.
She's committed at this point. I've put her through
Well,
enough.
who's she going to have that's better, right? Fred?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Didn't even think about it.
Quick check-in from a Chase sexual that's quickly becoming a Hocevar hoe. Because, damn, Carson can drive.
You talking about you or
No.
Hocevar Ho is crazy.
Man, y'all have some
we got
people.
some callers?
Some
but
raunchy
Yeah.
going on
this
over
is
here.
some,
We got the rowdies. They haven't spoke up much lately.
yeah. Them-
Well, they're waiting to get laid.
they're-
That's
yes.
why they haven't spoke up much lately.
They're bound up.
I am to the point where I would rather my parents catch me making sweet love to a donkey than in watching this 9 team run another race for the year.
Did he say the 19?
He said he would rather have his parents watch him make love to a donkey than watch the 9-car race again this year.
Oh, I thought he said 19.
Yeah, I thought he said 19.
No, I think it's 19.
Either one's valid.
Either
honestly.
one, yeah, at this
Either
point.
one's
But I think the
Leave my donkeys alone.
no, I don't want to see you near the slide job range.
Yeah. Dang.
These 9 fans. Where is he at in points? Is he like top 5
He's
still?
fine.
I mean,
He's
this
like-
guy, these people
They're
act
dramatic.
like the
Plus
world is.
142.
Is that all? He's the first guy on points, so he's probably fifth, 4th or 5th in points. I would assume. I don't even know for sure, but I mean, I get it. Yesterday they have all the reason in the world to complain because yesterday they're leading the race, and then Allen makes a decision to come down pit road instead of staying out like the 20 did. The 9 and the 20 were in the same boat. The 20 took one route, the 9 took the other. Didn't work out for either of them, but these fans are just.
I think the 9 got somewhat back in there, and I think he must have had a bad restart because I felt like after he pitted, he still
Got
made
back up in
somewhat. Track
he might have.
position.
I was kind of.
Where did he end up finishing?
I don't even know.
He's so quiet.
He's probably in the top 10. I should probably
15th.
Oh, 15th. I mean, Jesus.
And Christopher Bell is 16th.
Yeah. I mean, these fans are so irrational. We're
I
going to
think
get a
the
lot
9
of
had
hate.
a very difficult time passing the 99 and.
Who doesn't?
No, I just watched them.
You just
Dude,
had to sit back and watch it.
they were just racing
You were laughing.
so hard, and I was like, I mean, he was trying to get clear of them, and then would get clear of them, and then something happened, and then all of a sudden they were just battling back and forth.
All right. Well, thanks for all the, I shouldn't say all the calls. We didn't get that many. But just leave an audio message 24/7. Please call our number at 704-802-9572, and we'll play the best ones each week on the show. So make them good.
I do we would need better calls, obviously. Listen, don't call us about the segment isn't good because it's up to you guys. We don't call ourselves.
All right. Ask DBC. Send in your questions on X each week using hashtag AskDBC. You guys actually had a lot to say about this before we got going today. Drew wants to know, what do you think is the biggest challenge logistically with going to Mexico, and what does your travel look like?
Just everything. Just everything is the biggest challenge, it seems like, this week with going to Mexico.
No, I think the biggest one is in getting through customs with the trucks and the trailers coming up. From what I understand, Xfinity guys are struggling a little bit this morning. Paperwork.
We sent our sprint car team to Canada, and it was a disaster. I mean, we had to have a list of every nut and bolt in the trailer.
We had to do the same for us. But
okay.
But
it's a big chore.
A lot of paperwork issues. I would guess more so on the multi-teams, maybe switching some paperwork around with the trucks and trailers, making some mistakes from what I hear. But it's going to be hard, and I think getting through there. They're not going through the main customs one. There's a I'm not going to call it a VIP one, but a VIP one that is all set up for us as to go through as groups. And to be honest with you, so far I think it's gone pretty smooth. I think all the teams are flying out of the main airport in Charlotte right on Thursday. Have their own gate, have their own check-in. What's it? 5 planes, Freddie?
Yeah,
4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Something.
Yeah. So
big
I mean,
ones. Big.
NASCAR,
I think it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's just it's just the little things.
It's different.
When you change your routine up, it's a pain in the ass a little
and
bit.
you don't like your routine change.
I don't like my
just
routine
like this
getting
fast.
changed.
You're
Yeah,
going
like
faster than you're
Herm's
going.
probably gonna have a heart attack this week because you know how Herm is. He's as regimented as it gets. But it's just
We're back to the 4-day weekends.
Yeah, it's it's just
5.
It's for us.
Yeah.
I'm assuming everybody's similar. We have to go to the shop, park at the shop, ride a bus to the airport, go through security whatever at the airport. Then come back, wait on everybody to get their bags, wait on buses to come back. You're going a day early, you're staying a day late.
It's kind of like racing Chicago.
Yeah. And then, who knows what, I don't, everybody's talking about the area itself. I'm not concerned about that really at all. I think it seems like we're staying in a nice area. Seems like they gave us lists of hotels, and they did say stuff like, make sure you take an Uber Black, just if you're going to do that, if you're going to, venture out to one of these other restaurants. But just for one, could we not find a place further away from Mexico to go race the week before? Like, I think it's Loudon, the only one that might be a little further away.
It's a long drive.
I mean,
it's 24-hour truck ride from Michigan to Laredo.
Yeah. I mean, can we not know, like, next time maybe for the truck driver, because that's the guys these are the guys that are on it this week, is the truck drivers.
Plus, you had the other truck drivers, the extra ones, bringing the equipment out. Because we had to do the swap out yesterday morning and after the race.
Maybe next year to help these guys out, we can go like Texas to Mexico would be nice for them guys or something.
It's almost like that would make sense.
It's and then yesterday we get to the track and they tell us none of our radios are going to work there. There's frequencies are screwed up. So
that's probably the biggest thing.
If that's true, where nothing's going to work, like there was
stay home.
Yeah, I told Bub, I said I can't see anything and you don't listen to me anyway. So what's the point of it? I don't really got to go. But that's like, it was talked yesterday that it was every Cup team, every Xfinity team, all the NASCAR side of things, fire and safety, everything had to be changed. And that they essentially have one company doing it.
And they only found that out yesterday.
Saturday night or Sunday, Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night.
The teams found out yesterday morning. And it's really not, the teams can't do anything about it because the trucks are already there. All the radios are on the trucks.
Is it a radio thing or a frequency?
I think it's a frequency thing. Gotcha. So now RE's gonna have to go through, try to get approved frequencies for every team, whatever. Then they've got to be the ones to program everything because a lot of the teams don't have those capabilities.
Is it because the city's so big? And I assume there's probably a lot of frequencies in that city.
I think it's
not
just
governed. I don't think our frequencies are governed in Mexico, so I don't think they're legal. Maybe?
It sounded like there was. I sounded like the stuff would work, like we could go there and the stuff would work, but it would not be legal. Yeah. It would outside of the bandwidth or whatever it is.
Oh wow.
Did F1 guys have to do this every time they?
I don't know.
Race.
I mean,
like how they travel.
I think they're so internationally, like they do it all the time. It's.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just listen, it's a lot of finicky details that are I'm just like a stickler.
After this one will be dialed in.
I don't know if we're going back, but wherever
we're
we go
going
next,
somewhere.
Yeah, we're going somewhere next. Wherever we go next, hopefully we got it dialed in a little bit better. But it's just been a lot of little details that come up last minute that a lot of people. I feel like some people just don't think about it. It's like, is this going to work? Can I go here? Or how are we doing this? So I'm sure we'll get through it, and I'll just come back and about it on Monday. It'll be fine. Tuesday. We don't even know what day we're recording because we don't know what home day. That was pretty impressive.
I think we should do DBC After Dark next Monday.
Next Monday? Okay.
Monday night.
The problem is I don't know when I'm going to get home. So
you're going to get home on Monday, Freddie.
For a person that really don't have to do anything and follow directions and just get on the plane and spot, you're really worried.
Oh, no, I got to follow a lot of directions. Right now my don't work.
You just said he doesn't listen to you anyways.
It's not up to you.
Yeah, it's not even up to you.
Yeah. I just show up. Hopefully my stuff works when I turn it on.
Yeah.
This fasting's really,
I've told you,
getting to you.
I have to get breakfast when I get out of here.
I think you better go have a beer. That's the problem.
Yeah, beer for breakfast. All right, Christian would like to know, Ricky, how will the higher altitude in Mexico play a role on Sunday for both drivers and the cars?
Tommy can probably speak to the cars, but I think the cars are the biggest issue. I mean, for me, I don't think it'll be too bad. I thought it was going to be hotter down there than what it is now. I think it's only like 70-something degrees. Yeah. I was hoping it was going to be hot and altitude. Maybe some of the drivers wouldn't fare well, but I think it'll be fine. I don't know. I mean, I've worked out at altitude.
I'm worried about Freddie. I think that's probably why Freddie's worried. Maybe Freddie is worried. Now,
I think about the altitude.
Oh, it's bad.
I know.
It's 70?
No, I think it's
300?
I think it's a little higher than that, but it's going to be the worst.
And Tommy, about the cars.
Andrew, what is it, 7,300?
Don't drink a bunch when you get there.
315.
I'll end up like you.
Remember what happened to me in Breckenridge? That altitude ain't nothing to play with.
Carson went on vacation. Carson went on vacation, and the next picture I got of her, she's hooked up to an oxygen tank trying to get.
I had to sleep with an oxygen tank for 3 days.
And you wonder why I thought that resume was good with the guy taking all the medicine.
But Tommy, talk about the cars because I know that there's cooling concerns, obviously, and they're bringing us another cooling package to possibly use after the first practice.
Yeah, there's some brake cooling issues that they're prepared for, that the teams are prepared for, and engine cooling. So I think on our side we're we're prepared as best as we can be. So.
Sounds good. I am not prepared as best as I can be.
No.
I talked to John
Especially
Hunter.
with
I
this
talked to John
fasting.
Hunter in the pitch yesterday, and he said he's been in Aspen like the last 2 weeks, just hanging out at Jimmy's house. I don't know if
Just
that's like
trying
just
to,
to get used.
I mean,
Get
hey,
used
that's
to
one
it.
way to get
Let's get used to
acclimated.
it, yeah.
I mean,
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Be careful. I have PTSD from that happening to me.
I've worked out at
Lord.
like 9,000 feet and, ran up some mountains and stuff. So I feel like
I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a while.
Since you were 2. In your mother's belly.
I was somebody
maybe,
who's
too.
carrying me.
Well,
But no, John Hunter doing that, like that's. I mean, if you're gonna get acclimated, it's that or a hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah.
Going to Jimmy sounds like
Fun,
a
a
good
lot more
idea.
fun.
Yeah, we'll be praying for you, Freddie.
I appreciate it.
Show Hall of Fame. 8th place fist fight at Langley won last week. So shout out to Connor.
It
and
wasn't even a
Parker.
fist fight.
was
You
a-
made it
Okay,
up. You made it out.
I didn't make shit out to
that
nothing.
It was fights. Now you're saying it was because he drove in the pits like a mad.
Yeah, it is.
So this is wrong.
So this
what
is
what the
wrong.
fight
Led our
is wrong?
fans. that
They
it was
did
wrong.
get in a little
But you
tussle.
said it wasn't even a good one.
tussle.
It wasn't.
I was disappointed that I feel like if we would have got a wider knowledge of that lady standing on the racetrack at Oxford, that probably would have
That
won.
could
But
have been
not
it.
enough people saw that. We had there's a lady wandered out. There's a
Oh no, I did see
Did
that.
you see that? Where
Yeah.
she's just standing outside the turn 2, like, hey, this is a good seat. I don't know why anybody.
I still
nobody
think
else.
that
Why
was
else is nobody over
Photoshopped.
here?
No, it wasn't photoshopped. I promise you.
It was way too grainy to be
This
an
week,
AI.
what do we got this week? Ricky, you have any shows this week? Did you see
Number
anything?
1, Big Owls.
So just big house.
big.
I don't know the others, probably.
Man, not really.
Just the truck race.
The
then.
truck race for sure. There was one.
Where
oh,
was the catch fence blown wide open at?
Colorado National, I think
Yeah.
it was, or something like that. Did you see that? They just blew a big hole in the catch fence and said, it, just keep racing. Like it was
Really?
like a chili,
Like
like a chili
huge.
bowl style, like tore the fence down.
Like probably the
Yeah.
size of this table.
yeah, huge hole, and they were like, nobody else will go through there. It'll be fine.
What's the law of averages if happening again?
What else did I had notes on this truck race. The truck restart has to be on there. You know what my show of the week was, and this is every week, and I hate to pick on this series, but a ARCA car got lapped at lap 6 on a 2-mile racetrack the other day. That's
bad.
That's bad.
Arca was different when I raced it.
I mean, way different. I mean, it's. I hate it because I know they've turned this into like the Richard Petty driving
It's just a match
experience.
race, really.
It's a 4-car race up front, but this is the Richard Petty driving experience now. There's people out there running. The guy was literally I think they were running like 38-second laps. The guy got lapped in 6 laps.
He wasn't running 38 seconds.
I'm saying, but I mean, it's just. I looked at one time. We were at Buffalo Wild Wings, me and Drew and Joey Campbell, and we're betting on what lap. And I looked down and I'm like, holy shit, lap 3, this guy's 27 seconds off the lead. Like, how does that happen? Like,
Missed a
what
shift.
the
He
fuck
must
is
have
minimum
missed down
speed?
two something.
That's what I was gonna
What is
say.
minimum speed in the ARCA series?
He missed a shift.
It's just I don't understand. It's not safe, especially in a place like that where the fast cars are actually hauling ass. You know, they're running 180 miles an hour probably, and these guys are out there just creeping around. Like it's just I don't understand what the they are doing in the ARCA series with their approval process, but it needs to have a major overhaul somewhere.
Okay, so we have catch fence,
Man, there's been some terrible shows lately.
ARCA, truck
truck
race,
race,
and
Big Owls.
Big Owls losing their liquor license.
That'll be good enough.
Dalton just texted me. What about the dead squirrel?
Oh yeah,
Todd Dillon smoked that squirrel.
We can put that on. We
I
can
seen
put
it
that
on
on
pit
instead of
road.
one of
Is that
them.
where
Yeah.
he smoked him on pit
Yeah.
road, or he
Yeah.
get on the track?
Yeah.
Did it kill the squirrel, or did because our splitters are so high now? Did it go
No, I think
underneath?
he just broke his ankle.
Oh my god, Ricky!
So sad.
dislocated
I
a
think he
knee?
just a little
Now he's
hyperextended.
Did we bring him to the infield court?
No animals were harmed in the making of this race.
Next thing you know, when they're going to need an animal hospital.
He's in
and then-
concussion protocol right now. He's looking to get approved for Mexico, but
Poor
can't
squirrel.
say for sure.
Man, nothing makes me sad seeing them in the morning getting all flattened on the roads.
I'll never
Especially when
forget.
you hit one, you're like, God.
My
dang.
grandfather was like, he was born in 1925, just a kind of a crotchety old man at the end there, and when before he wasn't allowed to drive anymore, if you saw a squirrel on the road, he was chasing that thing. Right?
He aimed
He
for
was
it.
trying to hit it.
Squirrels got into his house at one point.
Jesus.
Like squirrels got into his house at one point and like chewed up some. So from that point on, he was
He
like
hated all
the
squirrels. All squirrels.
he was a squirrel serial killer. He was going
Jesus.
after. Oh, anyway. So Mexico, Rick. what do you? I mean, this is an odd one for you guys because nobody's ever been there. So I mean,
Well, two people have.
well, that's true. But like, how much do you have to rely on sim this week to get going there?
Yeah, I'm gonna go do that tonight. So, they carved out a couple hours for me to jump on. I think it's pretty filled up. People are running it a lot, but yeah, gonna go out and do that, and yeah, it should be fine. I mean,
and we're all
everybody's in the same boat,
and we're all
for the
hoping
most
sim
part.
is closer than it was for what was that Coda?
Coda.
Yeah.
Well, we all I don't know about
What a
you,
mess
but
that was.
we unloaded a Coda and like we were seconds off of what the sim was.
Plus the way they were driving, it was completely off.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I guess the biggest thing is just, trying to like convert sim to real life, right? Like sim doesn't have tire packs, at the apex, of which corners, because they are putting some throughout the track. And so trying to figure out, how much curb you can hit somewhere in the sim, and then you get there, and then all of a sudden
we were talking about this with me, Tommy. We were sitting behind our hauler yesterday talking with Charles. Like, it's seconds of a difference. Second, you could cut off, but we don't know what from what I've told so far, we haven't really seen a defined ruling on, because there's places on the racetrack where you can cut corners, and we haven't really seen a defined.
Sounds like all the apexes they're pretty much gonna look at.
Yeah, like that's where they're gonna
And
call
then
it like
some
Coda.
of them might have tire barriers,
packs.
like what was that, turn 6 at Coda?
Yeah,
Something,
the left-hander there.
Yeah, I think a couple areas might have that. I think runoff you can do whatever you want, but there's a lot of speed.
It's
runoff-
like that's the
in the
thing. Like
runoff
you,
areas a
it's
lot.
almost like you don't know how to practice it because
yeah,
you don't know where the limits are.
it's mainly just making sure you know exactly where the track is.
Yeah, where the corners are, which turns next.
The scenery part, right?
Yeah, that way you're not running down the middle of the racetrack.
You
going
need
down
somebody
here?
in there like a rally car driver.
Yeah.
We're gonna go right at the end of this
right
straightaway.
to
Well, maybe if your radios don't work, that's what you got. You spotters
Just
could
ride in there.
pivot. Just ride with them.
Yeah, there's that one part where the track keeps going, but you have to make a right.
Yeah.
I hope they.
yeah.
Should we take bets on who'll be the first one to keep going?
That corner is kind of hard to see too.
Yeah.
It's I mean, obviously they'll have more, like when I did sim for 30 minutes just to kind of get an idea of the track, because we weren't sure if we were going to get sim time for sure after that. So we did it at the end of a session probably 3 weeks ago, and I don't know, I'm sure they're going to have more braking markers than we're up, but like I almost missed that corner every time.
Yeah.
Because the way the guardrail is, you really can't see the corner.
No, because
So-
it's going straight the guardrail.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
I think there's going to be a lot of actions in the grandstand area.
Stadium section.
Yeah.
That is like, they call it the stadium section. It's a true stadium section there. Like it is tight. The stadium section at Coda makes it feel like it's Watkins Glen compared to the stadium section there. So
And listen, that first turn, when they raced there before, they would put a chicane, I feel like, on the front straightaway somehow to like kind of slow them down for that long
Did they?
straightaway. Yeah, I think like
I don't
that's what
remember.
Eddie was telling me. I haven't been. Eddie said
I
back
feel
when
like
they
I
ran
kind of remember
Xfinity.
that. What was that, like 08?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, I feel like. But there's no slowing down now. How long is that straightaway? It's forever.
It's the longest one that we have, right?
I mean, so that turn one's going to be.
Is it longer than Pocono?
I don't think
Front
so.
straight? No.
Pretty close though.
It's close.
No, it's close.
I mean,
Really?
it's long. So that'll be the.
Is that what y'all are like on the team side worried about brakes, is like going all the way down there and then just shocking them?
Yeah, you got that, and then you got all the little shocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Brakes
be
are finicky.
interesting.
Trying
Let's
to
put it
keep
this way:
them
we're allowed
the
to
right
bring,
temperature.
We're allowed to bring everything with us to change, just in case.
Gotcha.
Which is, to swap out after practice.
Ricky? Anything? I mean, cup racing, obviously.
Yeah, hold on. We got to get back to the show between you, Rec, and me in Martinsville. Let's get back to talking about that.
Tommy's
I
over
actually
it.
thought about that the other day because, we ended up at Truex's charity event. We were bidding on these paddle boards.
Oh, mother. I remember that. We almost
Did it?
fought then.
Yeah, at the charity event.
We did.
Tommy's on one side of the room. I'm over
We're up
here.
to like $15,000 on these
I
boards.
paid $15,000 for these paddle boards. It was
We're
for
worth
the
about
kids.
$1,000, but we're mad at each other.
Yeah.
Wait, at Catwalk?
Yeah.
This past year?
No.
years
This
ago.
is.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I honestly.
Do you know where they
probably
are?
Tommy. Yeah, I used them the other day. My pond fountain was broke, so I paddleboarded out there, grabbed it out.
$15,000.
Yeah. My wife's like, we don't need these paddle boards. I'm like,
Yeah,
we're
we
keeping
do.
them. We're
They're
keeping
not going
them.
anywhere.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
on one side. We were bidding, and the next thing you know, I don't know what happened. We started arguing.
I still don't
again.
I don't even remember what happened at Martinsville, to be honest with you.
I think he just wrecked Regan. Probably. I don't think I was spotting. I only spotted for a net. So was it Regan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Regan was driving,
Yeah,
but
it
I
was-
don't remember. I have no idea.
You Hocevar us.
There was a reason, though.
No,
Yeah,
you just got to us.
there was
You
a
were-
reason.
Here was the reason. You were aggravated because we were still on the lead lap, and you were 29th, we were 28th. You went into 3. You never checked up.
I'm gonna go back and look.
We're gonna go back to.
I can tell you, it was when
NASCAR
I was at
classics.
Roush, and I could have wheel hopped.
You know, it's weird. I rarely remember you. I don't ever remember you wheel hopping
You
at
didn't wheel hop.
Martinsville.
I wheel hopped at Roush
Every year?
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah. So it got.
You'd hear a noise, you go, what is that? Oh, never mind. Ricky
So-
in the fence again.
But the rest of the race, we tormented him. The rest of the race, because I told Regan over the radio, I said, "You will never drive my car again unless that guy is destroyed at the end of the race." Right? So we wrecked him. I mean, by the time the end of the race, his was pulling on pit road full of smoke, and he was aggravated. And I was like, yeah. So it got bad during the week. Jack actually called me up. He goes, you know, what's going on? We go, this, you know, I said, let me tell you something. I have 5 miles out engines, 5 junk cars. I will bring every car the next race and wreck him. Practice, qualifying, the race. He goes, I said, so are we good? Are you going to tell him to just calm down? And he's like, yes. I said, okay.
I'm gonna do some research. I don't remember.
I don't remember any of
Yeah,
that.
I do. That's
only
why
thing-
we were fighting for $15,000.
Hey,
The only thing Ricky
I
remembers.
don't remember this, but I wasn't paying for it. He was.
Yeah, and I didn't care. I didn't care.
The only
Yeah.
thing Ricky remembers is that $15,000 paddleboard and this whole situation.
Yeah.
Tommy came over. Are we good? I'm like, no. But I don't really remember. Tommy seems like it's very fresh. In
He
his
remembers
mind.
it clear as yet.
Tommy doesn't forget.
Day.
Well, like what he said to Regan, I easily believe it because when I spotted for Tommy, that was not uncommon to hear on the radio when his car got pushed around a little bit. So it was it was funny. But
I hate that
any
place. By the way.
Huh? You hate that what?
I hate that place. By the way. God.
but when you were driving that 17 car,
Now I know he wheel hopped.
It was
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not hard to believe.
He could have apologized at the time. Sorry, I wheel hop, but he didn't.
Yeah. If I didn't apologize, I generally did it on purpose.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just saying.
I'm just saying.
And that's why.
If you do it on purpose, there's no apology.
no apology.
And that's why I didn't get one. That's why Jack had to call me.
Yeah. Again, I don't know why I did it on purpose, but
No reason. I can guarantee you.
but yeah, man, we will hopped a lot.
Yeah, there we go.
You did.
But you didn't apologize.
Yeah, no, that's not what happened.
He probably apologized at the fab shop
Well,
because
but-
he wheel
yeah.
hopped about every time we were there.
Yeah.
After the race, he had to apologize because there wasn't a side left on
yeah.
that thing by the time Regan got done rubbing on him.
Then Matt.
I even one
Matt
time
left there and
asked him
went
to
one.
wait a lap. Slowed. I did what you did. Well,
But
allegedly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Allegedly, what you did.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
No
I should have done.
comment.
I should have done it last week. Got kicked out for this one. Carson, anything this week? We got Cars Tour. We're still off.
Are you trying to skip DBC picks?
Oh, we haven't. Yeah, who won? I didn't win.
I was
so
wondering why the hell you were talking
Oh,
so
sorry.
much. I'm like, we
I
still
thought we
got
were done.
DBC picks.
Sorry, my
No.
You didn't turn the page.
I've been. What page are we on?
Okay, Tommy. Tommy won this week with Bubba.
I know.
P4.
My guy was in position.
Who was your pick?
Carson.
Where are we going?
Oh, I gotta get
Mexico.
I gotta
Duh.
go first.
Carson,
Where are
we've
we
been
at?
talking about it for 20 minutes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ricky, you get to pick yourself, possibly.
Oh, you get to go first,
Yeah,
right?
you go first.
Oh, I go first?
Yeah. And so the guys that are grayed out, you can't pick.
Can't pick.
Everybody else is good.
You got to pick yourself.
No, I don't have to.
You're going in with a lot of confidence.
No, I'm going in with confidence, but, I'll take a top 5, but I'm going to try and pick the winner.
You gotta pick the winner. He's gonna need one of them green white checkers for the win.
I'm going to go SVG.
Yeah, I felt like there's two guys.
Well, there's 3 right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was going to pick.
Suarez is running every
Well,
single
you
race
can't.
he can there
Yeah.
this weekend.
Suarez, yeah.
I've already picked
SVG
Suarez.
and McDowell. Kind of like those.
I'm gonna take.
I was thinking Chastain as well.
So you stick with SVG?
I'm
So you
sticking
pick
with
SVG.
SVG.
I'll take AJ.
That's
Not a
another
bad
good
pick.
I'll take AJ for this one.
Connor Zilic isn't racing, is he?
No.
No.
Damn it.
Nope.
I'm gonna take Chastain.
I think that's.
I was thinking about that before you said it, so we're gonna.
That's a good pick.
You stole it.
He'll figure out how to blow a
New
corner.
track. If you haven't picked Logano, I'd pick Logano.
I think I already did.
I'm going to go with Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott.
Also a new track
That's
guy.
a good pick.
He is.
All right.
But Chastain's going to figure out how to blow a corner and gain time like he did at Indy that year, and they had to make new rules about it.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
We're
It's
only Carson. We're only one behind the guest.
I know.
I know. I got
Freddie's back.
I was.
Freddie, you haven't won in.
I got.
a month.
Here's how my
Ages.
picks are going. Kyle Larson finished 37th when I picked him. How's that happen?
Did you pick Cindric when he won?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
nice. That was a good one.
So who
my
all
wins are wins?
Who's got wins? Yeah.
My wins are wins at least. I got a 2 first and a second for my wins.
I got
Carson's got 2
Seabell and
Carson's
Kyle
got 2.
Larson. Hocevar almost.
Yeah.
It's been nobody's doubled up, right? No.
Carson won with an
Carson
11th.
Kyle Larson's won.
Yeah.
Oh, a guest won with a 14th. That's pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a
Austin
bad.
That was
Dylan.
Austin picking himself.
That was insider trading. It's bull-
Where was that at?
I don't even know.
The All-Star race.
Oh, yeah, the
All-Star.
All-Star. Yeah, we all had ran so good there.
All-Star race with a 14th. There was only 20 drivers.
Blaney, I picked myself. I didn't make it. It doesn't count against your picks for the
Oh,
year.
okay. I was about to say, wow, that was a miss.
yeah, because you were against a 21st and a 16th.
Yeah. Anyway,
Dang.
it's
Now you could ask
fun
me where
stuff.
I'm going
I'm sorry.
this
Yeah.
weekend.
So Carson, where are you heading this weekend?
No, we go to Dominion Raceway in Virginia. So
Is this late model stock and pro?
just late model stocks. It's the weekend where I don't know if you're familiar, but Minnie Tyrell, one of our drivers, he has a foundation and they raise money for childhood cancer research. And so they bring 30 families of children that are either in treatment or have just finished treatment, and they get paired up with a team for the weekend, and then they get to just experience the whole weekend with a Cars Tour team and a driver. And
Oh, that's cool.
see what it's like to be at the racetrack. And a lot of them like come back year over year, so they've like gotten paired with the same drivers year over year, and they all get used to it. They all keep in touch in between. So all in all, it's a fun weekend.
It's a cool
I'm
deal.
excited.
That kid's really good too. Minnie,
He's a little head, but we love him. We love him.
Thomas modified racing this week.
Yep.
Riverhead, old
Riverhead.
home.
Yep. Yeah, with Luke.
Is that it?
Had a rough one yesterday. Finished 10th in the tri-track up in White Mountain, but he got a little dose on how those guys race a little bit differently. He said, I'm going to have to step up my aggression a little bit. Yeah, he spun out. I think he spun out once or twice on his own, not to wreck the guy that he was underneath, because the guy just run him in the dirt. And I'm like, you've done that 4 times this year. Once in the truck in the Martinsville race, you did it because obviously you set yourself up with a mistake, but you did it. You spun out on purpose. But you're going to have to just start plowing through these guys to gain some respect.
That's good. Yeah.
So be ready. So we're gonna do a little bit different than tri-track series when we go up there.
Somebody pull a clip of Tommy about people driving through people.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, you got to race people how you race. I mean, you give them one shot to race you clean, and that's what I told them last night. And if they don't race you clean, game on.
I want to be fighting my way at all these modified races now that I got a spot for Luke.
Yeah,
Anyway, obviously Cup racing coming on. You got any dirt stuff coming up?
No, nothing on the schedule.
Lauren hasn't packed you into going somewhere?
I got a lot of stuff to do. I think I'm going through the first pitch out at the Phillies game Wednesday.
Are you going to bounce it?
No.
The Wednesday of Pocono or
this Wednesday? Yeah, and then get back and go to Mexico.
How cool is it for you? I mean, obviously, I don't want to drag this on too long, but I feel like this DAP point thing has kind of gotten guys out and doing more events. And how cool is it for you to see the sport doing that? And how important is it for you to get out and see people?
It's good. This year our team obviously going through some changes. Like we actually have some merch out in the hauler, so going out there and signing autographs and stuff. I didn't really have a place to do that beforehand, so that's been nice. But I think just getting out and doing cool stuff. Obviously we do interviews all the time. We do, the normal stuff that you would do like on Zooms and things like that, which is cool. But the program has gotten us to be able to do way bigger things, like going to, New York or Chicago and, throwing first pitches out and going to baseball games, something that we feel like is, worth going out and doing. And, it helps our
because
brand
it's probably
as well.
fun for you guys
it's fun.
too. Yeah.
It's not, the same old, and it, we feel like it builds our brand as well as, promoting the sport. So I think it's been doing a great thing for our sport, and just seeing people out and about, and it seems like the fans enjoy it too.
Speaking of seeing people out and about, I'm sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings on Saturday with, like I said, Drew Herring and Joey Campbell, and in walks Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what the? And then I realized, I'm like, they're probably on your car again, because I saw them.
Yeah.
Was it Vegas? They were in Vegas, I think.
Dude, he loves it. Yeah, and we're brothers. We're Mississippi brothers, and I keep trying to get Hulk there.
That'd be big.
Yeah, that'd be
Carson,
cool.
do you have any idea who Jimmy Hart is? Kids these days. If you don't know who Jimmy Hart is, look him up. Mouth of the South. He was
legendary.
He was a legend.
Promoter,
wrestler,
manager
in the, I'd say, the 80s, 90s, probably
Yeah.
his heyday. But the guy looks exactly the same. I think he's 80 something years old.
He has
and
not lost any energy.
No, he's cutting promos. I seen him down there with Travis and the boys cutting promos.
He's getting. He said if they're looking at doing some more races, he's like, I'm getting some new jackets made with you on it.
With you on your face on it, probably.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Ricky, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Thanks for stopping by. Thomas, good luck at Riverhead this weekend. Go bring us a big trophy. Steve Park trophy, right? It's a Park. It's a race in honor of Steve Park up there, so that'd be good. I've seen some models of his car as the trophy, so that'll be. Bring that one home for us. We need that one back here in North Carolina. And Carson, have a nice quiet weekend. Maybe just no
Maybe
fighting.
they won't fight because there's children there. Let's hope.
Yeah, let's keep in mind that.
You have been really boring lately.
Jesus.
Just to let you know. We need some
You
stories.
have been awful to me today.
No, because and we need more of like the old Carson.
The old car. What do you mean?
Like
from back 10 races ago.
Yeah. To fire it up, one of all the kind of stuff that was happening.
What'd you say to Corry that day? What was it? It was like right out of the gate. You said Corey's.
I said it was a whiny.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
I still think that.
Still haven't changed that opinion. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Don't know how many DBC fans we'll see in Mexico, but hopefully there's.
And if you do, you won't understand them.
Hopefully there's a bunch of them.
Google Translator will be working a lot.
Do we do this show in Mexico? Like, is there subtitles?
Can you listen to it?
I don't know.
It's on Apple. They can find it if they want to.
Maybe I'll see some at Dominion.
Anyway, it's good to see everybody. I saw a bunch again at Michigan this week. So thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening. Again, Ricky, thank you for dropping by. And we'll see everybody, I don't know what day next week. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. It's maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, depending on when we get home. But we'll be back then. So thanks for listening, and we'll be back.
Bye.
Peace out.